Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Most and rule well. And Shalom to the brothers, pushing this word out. And sincerity and truth. Yeah. I was watching one of Apostle Sahar's videos. And he kind of mentioned that, Paul was a murderer. But then he got, the Lord had it where he came into the word, man. He was of the elect. And it's funny, it's the spirit still, because that's how cold this word is, man. Like if you're one of those, one of the elect, regardless of what you've done when you're in the world, before you came to the truth, you're basically gonna receive salvation, and you're gonna be counted among that number. And that's why it's like, yeah, you'll have murderers in the elect, man. And that's just something that it shows how raw the Lord is, man, and how real this thing is, man. This thing is it's a spiritual matter, man. You can't look at it just through the carnal lens and understand what's going on. It's something where, spiritual understanding needs to be revealed to you to understand these things, man. That's why it's like, even when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, he was doing miracles in front of people. People saw the miracles. Feeding the 4,000, feeding the 5,000. But then what people were just thinking, they want to eat. They were thinking to yam up some bread and fish, man. They were desiring because their belly got filled. They weren't think, their faith wasn't bolstered. They didn't believe. But that's so the Lord gets down. So Acts 8:1, it says, and Saul was consenting unto his death. I was talking about the death of Stephen, because you have the previous chapter where Stephen goes in, cutting the wicked scribes and Pharisees, and they get stoned to death. And Saul was there. It says, Saul was consenting unto his death, and at that time there was a great persecution against the church which was at Jerusalem, and they were all scattered abroad throughout the regions of Judea and Samaria, except the apostles. Yeah, so Saul was doing work, man. He was getting it in. the church was catching hell, man. But it says what? And devout men carried Stephen to his burial and made great lamentation over him. As for Saul, he made havoc of the church, entering into every house and hailing men and women, committed them to prison. Yeah, so he's going around, he was shacking people up. People getting put to death. Hey, it was wild. But this is a thing where it's a matter of election. An election is something that is basically that's preordained from before the world was made, man. That's something that's been set and is irrefutable, man. It can't be changed. That's why it's, regardless of what Paul was doing, before he came into the truth. That's why as soon as he came in, he did the work, man. He went in. The Gentiles coming in, man. The Israelite foreigners, them coming in. That was Paul kick-started that. Well, Peter kick-started it, but Paul was the one. He was the apostle to the Gentiles, man. He was going out among them, waking up hella Jake among the Gentiles, man. And that's something that, is similar theme going on as well in this present time, man. Jake in that heathen state of mind being woken up. So it's spiritual. So John 10:14, I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am known of mine. As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. Yeah, Yahweh laid down his life for the sheep. Because that's when he went up on the cross. It was to cover the sins of all Israel, but really for the elect. Because the elect, the 2/3 are still going to have to taste the second death. But, for the elect, that's not going to be so. We're going to get them spiritual, get them perfected bodies, man. Get the laws put on our inward parts, and we're going to be perfected. As Yahweh Shai is perfected. But, okay, it says, and other sheep I have which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and they shall be one fold and one shepherd. Now, the main point was in 15, because Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, he basically is the one that's like, yo, he's given that gift of the capability to get this wisdom, man, to get this knowledge, to receive faith. These things are gifts from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. They're given. So that's why it's if you've been counted among that number, among those elect, then you're going to receive that gift of faith. You're going to receive them talents, and then you're going to multiply and make that money. It says, well, according as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. This is a letter that was written by Paul. And it says what? He's chosen us in him before the foundation of the world. So yeah, those that counted among the elect, they were chosen and set. And that's a big part of this word, man, of this truth. Because when you deal with the world, you deal with the carnal world. These guys are talking about, the myth of free will. Like there's the capability out here for you to just choose and decide to do whatever you do. But you go to what Job, was it 33? I believe it says sealeth the instructions, man. When you're asleep, man, you get the instructions sealed. So we're all just, robots, essentially, man. Where we basically have our actions ordained and set, man. And that's why so you had those that the Lord's chosen, to have mercy on. You got those. Basically, you got Israel's been chosen for mercy, but even among them, there's Israel, the Most High, man, which is the elect. So among the elect, they're going to receive the mercy. You're going to have the 2/3 going to catch the second death. Then you're going to have the others of the heathen. They're going to get judged. But then they're going to, they're going to get judged, but after 1,000 years, they're basically going to be, they're still going to be around. Then you got Esau, who after 1,000 years is going to be done away with, man. And these things are set. The Lord already decided, okay, look, what the purpose of each nation, man. And that's why you have the prophecies going back, the destruction, Israel, all these things. Yahweh Shai, you go back to Genesis, these things are being spoken about. Why? The books of the law. Because hey, that's the spirit, man. That's how the Lord had this thing set from the jump. And now we're just playing it out, man. This is like the stage. We're all playing it out. We've all got our roles to do. And that's what we're playing. Esau's playing the role of that wicked, the role of the devil, role of the deceiver, the adversary. He's playing out that role. Israel's playing out the role of the hero, the protagonist, man. And that's why we started off, we're made subject to vanity, man. We're made incapable of keeping the law. So we fell short, but then what? Yahweh Shai brought us back. And now it's that time of that final judgment where afterwards we're going to be perfected as Yahushua is perfected. We're going to receive, the elect are going to receive that reward, man. That Israel the Most High. So this, these things have been set from before the world was made, man. Because Yahushua was around. The angels were around. All the souls were around before the world was made. And they had them set roles, man. So according as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children, by Hamashiach, by Yahushua Hamashiach, to himself according to the good pleasure of his will. Yeah, he's basically predestined. You've been set. If you're among that elect number, that's why we're the hopeful elect. We're basically laboring in the hope that we're counted among that number. That's why you strive, working for that crown, man. What's the other thing? You haven't predestinated us onto the adoption. So even that's why it's so wild, because Paul was persecuting the church, but then the Lord already had it set where it's like, okay, now this guy he's gonna be heavy in the spirit, man. He's gonna be set up, man. He's gonna do work. I'm gonna have him doing work through the spirit, but first I'm gonna have him persecute the church. But that's how it goes down, man. And that's why it's that's how easy it is for the Lord, man. The Lord can have a guy going completely off, man, and then just flip the switch, put the spirit on him, and it'll be completely on point. But that's why you should fear the Lord, because the same way can have that spirit put on you, can have it taken off. Because you go to what was it? Let me go to Old Testament, 1 Samuel. Okay. So this, I can't remember where. Is it earlier? Yeah. Okay. What's the wording? Put a spirit. So I think it's an evil spirit, if I remember correctly. Okay, yeah. That's the one. That's the one. 1 Samuel. Well, yeah. So. Okay. So it's the anointing of David. Okay, 1 Samuel 16:12. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy and withal of a beautiful countenance, and goodly to look at, youthful. And Yahweh said, "Arise, anoint him, for this is he." Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the spirit of Yahweh came onto David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. But the spirit of Yahweh departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from Yahweh troubled him. So yeah, he had that. This is how easy the Lord can make the switch, because Saul was anointed king over Israel, but he was off and he was rebellious, and then that manifested, and then what? That had the kingdom rent from him, and then what? David was set up, man. And the house of David, that's what the same house is being rebuilt up right now. That's how it's going to endure into the kingdom of heaven. But it says what? And then the evil spirit from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So the Lord put the evil spirit on Saul to make him go off. That's how cold the Lord can be. The Lord can just flip it. That's why you got to fear the Lord, man. But what? Okay. Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Yeah. So before the Lord before you came on the scene, now if your job's to be a prophet, the Lord's like, oh, you already knew, because your spirit was there before, and the Lord already set up with that purpose, man. And it's reincarnation, man. It says what? The spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So if you're a prophet before, you'll come back as a prophet again, man. That's why Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah, Obadiah, Micah, Malachi, Zechariah, Zephaniah, all these, man, they're gonna come back. Baruchs, they're all gonna come back, the same lot. That's why even King David came back in the same lot. Always, that's how the Lord gets down, man. So it's like Saul's a wicked as hell. So when Saul comes back, he's gonna be wicked as hell again. But then that's why it's like Paul. He was righteous, man. He's of the elect. So what? He's even though he was doing wickedness, he still came round, man. He's still gonna get saved. And that's how cold this thing is, man. Back in Ephesians. Ephesians 2 and 8. Okay, well. Let's start from verse 4. It says, Ephesians 2 and 4. But the Most High, who is rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us, even when we were dead in sins, have quickened us together with the anointed. By grace ye are saved. Yeah, so through Yahweh Shai, yeah, and all of us, especially now, because back in the time 2,000 years ago, you still would have had Jakes that grew up knowing they were Jakes, you know, keeping the law, you know, to the best of their ability as well. Back then, you know, keeping the high holy days, all that, and knowing they were Israelites. But in this modern time, we're all completely gone astray, man. The vast majority, man, of Jake, you know, ain't growing up knowing they're Israelites. You know, very few, a very small number, but then what? We're still in the world. We're still committing sin, man. And it says what? Through Yahweh Shai, that grace we get from Yahweh Shai, that's our pathway to salvation. It says what? And have raised us up together and made us sit together in the heavenly places, in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, that in the ages to come he might show the exceeding riches of his grace and his kindness toward us through Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, is the gift of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So yeah, that grace that you receive, that capability to strive for your crown, strive for salvation. That's a gift, man. That's a gift. That's why you have parable of the talents I mentioned earlier. It's that gift, and that's why it was given unto Paul. But hey, for the among the wicked scribes and Pharisees, there was hella people, all kinds of people that saw miracles that weren't of the sheepfold, man, of Yahushua sheepfold. Hella of them guys are gonna get judged, man. So that says what? Thou Capernaum. It's there's hella places where Yahushua is doing all kinds of miracles. It's just like, yo, look, man, you guys, it's not for you to get. Because hella Jake were just stiff-necked as fuck. There's people that tried to put Yahushua to death, man, at points in time, man. Various points in time, man. All kinds of scheming. Saying like, he wants to overthrow Rome. Guys are hating, man. And it's the same thing in the modern day. You still got scoffers coming on boards, talking smack, talking shit. But then what? This thing's through the spirit. These guys are upset. They're hurt, man. The truth, they're watching the videos. It's not taking root, man. They're getting upset. They're hurt. But hey, not of works, lest any man should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Hamashiach Yahushai unto good works, which Yahweh Hashem Yahushai have before ordained that we should walk in them. Yeah, so these things are ordained. So the guys who are going to strive and work, the guys who are going to build up, man, and feed the sheep, those guys are set. And then you got the guys that are going to be talking shit, man. The guys are going to be going in their feelings for multiple hours, talking smack. Guys are going to be bringing out completely wayward doctrines. And bringing out hell 11, those guys as well. Everyone's basically it's been set, man. There ain't much you can do. John 6:63, it is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So yes, that spirit, man, that Holy Spirit that basically needs to work with you for you to get this word, man, for you to get that understanding. Because otherwise, it's not going to take root. That's why there's an angel that's working, blinding and deafening, man. It was set. The task was set. It says what? Who shall go forth? He said, I'll do it. Was it Isaiah? Is it Isaiah 29? I'm thinking of the wrong one. Yeah, I think I was thinking the wrong one. What's it? 6. Okay, yeah, 6. Yeah, Isaiah 6 is the one. So you had you got angel working, blinding and deafening, and stopping men from coming to the word, man, coming to the truth. That's his job. It was given an order. The order was given out. It's like, yo, I'm gonna fulfill it, and he's fulfilling it perfectly. Says, but there are some of you that believe not. For Yahushua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not and who should betray him. And he said, therefore said I unto you, that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father. Yeah, so the the number that's been set by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, they're the only ones who can get this, man. Regardless, anyone else, someone might come in and abide for a time, but if the spirit ain't on them, if they're not of that number, they're just gonna weed themselves out, man. Okay. Go back in Acts 9. So this is in Saul yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, went unto the high priest and desired of him letters to Damascus, to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem. And he journeyed, and he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. And he fell to the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yahushua, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And he, trembling and astonished, said, Lord, what wilt thou have me do? And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. Yeah, so Paul moved with faith, but it's you got hella guys that the truth's being brought out, man. A good example is the mark of the beast being a microchip. That's something that that truth's being brought out. But then what, guys are railing and rebelling against it. So that shows that the spirit's not dealing with them, man. It says what? And the men which journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing a voice but seeing no man. And Saul arose from the earth, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no man, but they led him by hand and brought him into Damascus. And he was 3 days without sight, and neither did eat nor drink. And there was a certain disciple of Damascus named Ananias. And to him said the Lord in a vision, Ananias. And he said, Behold, I am here, Lord. The Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus. For behold, he prayeth, and hath seen in a vision a man called Ananias coming in and putting his hand on him, that he might receive his sight. Then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he hath done to thy saints at Jerusalem, and here he hath authority from the chief priests to bind all that call on thy name. Yeah, so he was sent, his express mission was to persecute the church. But then what, he's going to wind up joining it. That's how this thing's set, man. I could go back to, I believe... Yeah. Damn. Okay, let's go a bit faster. Alright, yeah. Is it no more? No more. cannot remember the wording. Uh. Yeah, okay, Jeremiah 20. Okay. Okay, so Jeremiah 20 and 7. O Yahweh, thou hast deceived me, and I was deceived. Thou art stronger than I, and hast prevailed. I am in derision daily, everyone mocketh me. For since I spake, I cried out. I cried violence and spoil, because a word of Yahweh was made a reproach unto me, and a derision daily. Then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name. But his word was in mine heart as a burning fire, shut up in my bones, and I was weary with forbearing, I could not stay. Yeah, so it's just like with Jonah, where he had to go and prophesy against Nineveh, and he tried to escape, tried to ends off to Tarshish, but then what, the Lord had it where, you know, he was in the belly of the Leviathan. he got gobbled up, and then what was it? And then he ended up having to fulfill it, man. He had to go back and prophesy. So it's with when it comes to you know, if your role is to teach this word, you're gonna end up teaching the word, whether you like it or not, man. If you're counted among that number, then the Spirit's gonna be on you to do what you need to do, man. And that's the same thing with Jeremiah. He said, I'll no more make mention. I ain't gonna speak the word no more. When he said what? It was a burning fire shut up in his bones. And it was weary with forbearing. He's basically like, yo, I can't even. His spirit just could not be compatible with not pushing out that word, man. Yeah. Okay. Go back to Acts. The 9. So then, okay. Yeah, he hath authority into the tabernacle. So verse 50, Acts 9:15. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake. Yeah, so he was Paul was set up, man, because he does end up going before. He ended up going before Caesar, before hella kings and governors, man. That's the role the Lord had. So he had to play it out, man. And that's like that. From persecuting the church, you know, hunting them down, putting them to death, to what? Pushing his word, man. And doing the utmost. That's how I set this thing in, man. This thing's all about through the Spirit, man. The Lord has his men. He's basically got you know, set up in the Spirit, and they got to play their roles. And then also got just if you got false prophets that are set up, they got to pay their roles. Esau's the devil; he's got to play his role. You know, everyone's got their set role. Like I said, it's the play, man. That theater, man. But Okay, I can finish it. And Ananias went his way and entered into the house, and putting his hands on him, said, Brother Saul, the Lord, even Yahweh Shai, that entered unto thee in the way as thou camest, has sent me, that thou mightest receive thy sight and be filled with the Holy Spirit. And immediately there fell from his eyes as it had been scales, and he received sight forthwith, and arose and was baptized. And when he had received meat, he was strengthened. Then was Saul certain days with the disciples which were at Damascus. Yeah, so said, uh, ah, and it's about immediately, the scales fell from his eyes and received his sight and was baptized. Spirit jumped on him, man. So it was set out, man. The Lord had it where things played out how He desired, man. And that's how the Lord can get down, man. You might think whatever method. It's similar with Moses, man. Where he was nurtured in Pharaoh's house, you know. But then what? Brought ruin to Egypt, man. Brought an end to it, man. That place was done. Okay. I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Shabbat Shem Shalom.